All right, let's see if technology is going to work with me today. Let's podcast. What's up, everyone? Welcome to That Game Rules, a subpar retro podcast where we break down classic video games and mix in old memories from the playground. I'm your host, Dr. Scuba. Thanks as always for tuning in. And if you're not in the mood to hear a lot of Mega Man music today, then this isn't the episode for you. We're traveling to the year 21XX, where all the Nintendo games are getting the SNES treatment. Mega Man X has upgrades all around, and I'm not just talking about the Blue Bomber. We got updated graphics, new moves and weapons, swapping out Robot Masters for Renegade Mavericks are just a few of the tricks Nintendo and Capcom have up their sleeve. So stock up those sub-tanks, charge up that X-Buster, and let's blast through this game and see if X and Zero have the nuts and bolts to take down Sigma. But first, let's get these retro juices flowing. Let's see what this dumb podcast is all about. Every episode starts with a trip back in time, talking about old movies, old cartoons, toys, video games, and more nonsense. Next up is the Game Vitals, the art. We got weapons, levels, Hadoukens, secrets. We'll do the design, the history, tons of music. Check out some comments and reviews. Finally, we'll give this game some awards, give it a ranking, and continue to do whatever we can to make sure the world doesn't forget about Mega Man. I swear, every couple of years, just when I think Capcom forgot its beloved mascot, they finally release a new game for the masses. And there's another one on the way as I record this now. Email the show at thatgamerules@gmail.com. Tell me all the games you want to talk about. Hit me up on the usual, the Facebooks, the YouTube, the Instagram, TikTok. I'm just posting reels and, audio episodes over there. But if you could, leave a nice review, make this old gamer happy, leave a nice comment. Go do it right now. I'll wait. Oh, thanks so much. Let me know. Tell me all your Mega Man memories, your favorite Robot Master. Do you keep your blaster charged just nonstop as you're playing? Is Rush the best video game dog ever created? Let me know. Should I build my own robot dog? In my personal life here, all this robot building talk at the same time I'm mentoring a robotics coding camp for some of my kids has me feeling like Dr. Light himself. And I could just as easily go full Dr. Wily, add some chainsaws and flamethrowers to these little bots. It is very tempting. Robot coding itself, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm trying to learn with this class, with this robotics teams we're all on. And if we're not building battle bots themselves, we're building animatronics over in my garage. Where's that crossover? Where's the Mega Man Five Nights at Freddy's game with Mega Man taking out renegade animatronics gone crazy? He'd have Rush. Rush could take out Freddy, Foxy, Chica. He could take all of them out. No problem. Now let's talk about my Mega Man X gaming memories. Everyone remembers their first Mario game. Everyone remembers their first Zelda game, but did Mega Man leave an impact on your child brain like it did mine? Well, for me, it started with Mega Man 3. I don't know why that one. Everyone's got their own. But just the sprite, the designs, the weapons galore, the level selection freedom, and just figuring out that boss order on your own through trial and error. It's what makes Mega Man magical. Once you know that boss order, it's a bit unfair. It becomes kind of easy, but it's that first discovering those powers, discovering the boss weaknesses. It's those first run-throughs, that really make the game like stand apart. Made it that game. It's not your Mario platformer. There's a lot more going on with Mega Man. I would draw like robot masters all day in school. I'd make up my own robots. I'd give them like weapon lists and stats, all sorts of crazy color designs. I was playing all the NES games. I was playing the Game Boy games. They're not too bad. I was even rocking Mega Man in color on the go on that battery draining Game Gear. But then the SNES released, and we got to sit back and watch every game series we played on the Nintendo get a massive upgrade, and Mega Man was no different. When it comes to Mega Man X, it's a sequel, it's a spin-off. You got a new robot named X, you got new robot masters named Mavericks, but the formula was there. We just wanted updated games for the series we already loved, and Nintendo and Capcom would deliver on that with Mega Man 2.0. It's just what the Dr. Light ordered. So let's hop in the DeLorean. Let's get back to 1993. It's time to make like a tree and leaf shield. So that's like a Mega Man Back to the Future joke. Well, let's time warp.
Have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Welcome back to 1993. Today's Time Warp is brought to you by Tiger Electronics.
Tiger puts arcade action in the palm of your hand. Games like Mega Man 2. Fight your way through 8 stages of play as you attempt to defeat the villainous Dr. Wily, his evil dragon, and his 6 deadly robots to win. Also available, Afterburner, Shinobi, Altered Beast, and Super Sprint. Tiger LCD video games. Video excitement in the palm of your hand.
You're a joke. You're a joke, Tiger Electronics. How about a handheld piece of disappointment featuring the names of all your favorite childhood games and shows?
You son of a bitch.
Do you want to play Game Boy or Game Gear, but ended up with a piece of tech equivalent to a Casio wristwatch? Well, perhaps you were a child of the 90s, and being a child of the 90s meant a big dose of disappointment based on some of those commercials they were beaming into our little child brains. Tiger Electronics has entered the chat, and it's terrible. The screens, they work like a calculator. Every piece of background and sprite is preloaded. You could smash the screen with your thumb. You could see all the moves, all the characters. You could hold it in the sun like you do like with an old calculator. You'd see, 6 of Mega Man's arms all kind of coming off of him like an octopus. But yeah, at every Disney show, blockbuster movie, and yes, even video games like Mega Man had those Tiger Electronics all packed in the brightest, most colorful, deceiving packaging for just hordes of clueless parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles all buying up those crappy games from the Kmart shelves, destined to disappoint your young gamer on his birthday or Christmas that year. I learned early on, you get that big toy book from Toys R Us. You circle the games you want with like a big Sharpie. You rip that page out. You hand it to your mom with a detailed set of instructions. And you still end up with games like Mario is missing on Christmas. It's just the curse. It's our cross to bear, I suppose. Worst case, you just ask for another Mighty Max playset or maybe some Power Ranger figures, and you can just move on from there. Let's get to the theaters. 1993. We'll get to the theaters where life finds a way to be better than Tiger Electronics.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Let's talk about some movies. Put the kids to bed. We got some grown-up movies. Those movies you might catch on HBO when your parents fell asleep. That's how I saw Interview with a Vampire when I was like 8. And a little movie called Bikini Car Wash Company. I watched that. Anyways, Jurassic Park, guys, 1993. We'll talk more Jurassic Park when I put out the Jurassic Park episode. I just can't decide if I want to do the Genesis or the Super Nintendo Jurassic Park. Just like Aladdin, they both have a Jurassic Park, and they are both vastly different. But also that year, we had Groundhog's Day, The Fugitive released. We had with Harrison Ford, given the people over at Bort Posting online. Just a Millhouse meme to last for years. So thank you to The Fugitive. We got Schindler's List came out. It's a movie every human should see, and it probably helps when you're a little younger. I mean, it might wake you up a little bit to the injustices of the world. I know I saw that. I think I was like 10 when I saw it, and I think it like made me an adult that day. I think it kickstarted puberty like that day. But to talk about growing up fast, losing that childhood innocence, we'll lighten it up a little bit. We had Cool Runnings, we had Hocus Pocus, Nightmare Before Christmas, and a movie that upset me almost as much as Schindler's List. As a kid, I'm talking about Homeward Bound. When Sassy fell off that waterfall, it might as well have been the scene with the girl with the red dress from Schindler's List. Okay, Holocaust jokes on a Mega Man podcast. Bet you didn't have that on your bingo card this morning, but Homeward Bound, you got Chance, Shadow, and Sassy, lost in the wilderness. Spoiler alert, that scene at the end. Like, did Shadow make it? He's so old, but then you see him running up over top of the mountain and his kid gets him. It's a movie. It's about some animals. They're lost in the woods way before CG. Their mouths aren't even moving like Babe style or anything. It's just voiceover work. It's live action. It got sequels. I remember watching that movie a lot. Shadow, Chance, the dogs, almost as cool as Rush from the Mega Man games. Almost. But meanwhile at home, take a seat on that big comfy couch because we got releases that year include the Big Comfy Couch, that show with that clown lady. We got Rocko's Modern Life, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, Biker Mice from Mars. Over on Nickelodeon, The Adventures of Pete and Pete. I will give you $10 right now if you can tell me the name of the tattoo, that like Hawaiian lady that Pete had on his arm. He would like make her dance. I remember it. Do you? Maybe I'll tell you at the end of the episode if I remember. We had other shows. We had this show.
It's time for Animaniacs, and we're zany to the max. So just sit back and relax. You'll laugh when you can laugh. We're Animaniacs.
We got Animaniacs. Going crazy on our TV, on our cartoons there, but if you wanted to be a little more hardcore, a little more intense, you want to beat your friends up a little bit, we had a little of this in 1993. Oh, sorry, I just let that play all day. But for you nerds like me back then, it wasn't all getting silly. It wasn't all beating up bad guys. Sometimes you had fun learning some stuff, too.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Science rules.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Inertia is a property of matter.
Yes, to this day, I know inertia is a property of matter, thanks to the Bill Nye theme song. And still going today. Ask your kids, your young kids, they still know who Bill Nye is. So keep the science love going. Bill Nye, thank you for your service, sir, to this day. Let's get back to what you want to hear about video games in 1993. We're going through some growing pains, and not the fun kind of growing, like when you add all those attachments to the Genesis 32X and make a tower out of it. So we're not cool with those kind of growing pains. Sega and Nintendo, they aren't out of the console wars yet, but there's a new challenger approaching. Pissed off parents and some out of touch senators.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
Oh, we got guns, cussing with Doom, Duke Nukem, blood and gore in Mortal Kombat, demons in Diablo. You got nudity and violence in games like Night Trap. Won't somebody please just think of the children? Mission accomplished, old people. You managed to form the ESRB while simultaneously making Doom and Mortal Kombat a household name thanks to that free advertisement. PCs were kicking off back then. Move over Minesweeper and MS Paint. We've got Myst, SimCity 2000, Probably a Leisure Suit Larry game of some variety, I can't remember. But what was competing against Mega Man X on the consoles? What game in 1993 could possibly have a chance at making you put down Mega Man X and play something else? Listen to some of this lineup. We had Super Mario All-Stars, Star Fox, Secret of Mana, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, all on the SNES. Over on the Sega, you got Aladdin, Gunstar Heroes, NBA Jam, Mortal Kombat 2, Sonic CD, if you were one of those fancy guys back then. We had Street Fighter 2. That's going to get a reference in today's episode. Over on the Game Boy, you got Link's Awakening. But also, we had... over on the CD, the computer, the PC, you had those Zelda CDI games, the ones that came out and made everything maybe not so awesome in Hyrule in 1993.
Well, excuse me, princess.
But it is time to get into it. It's time to check out the Blue Bombers upgrades. We're going to start by checking out that shiny box art.
Now, I know you love video games, and I asked the clerk which is the one every boy wants. You got me. Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get into these game vitals.
Hey, listen.
We got Mega Man X, 1993, developed by Capcom for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It was the first Mega Man game for the 16-bit console and the first game in the Mega Man X series. It's a whole different robot we got. The gameplay takes place a century after the original Mega Man series and is set in a futuristic world populated by both humans and Reploids. Those are robots capable of thinking, feeling, and growing like their human creators. Because of these complex attributes, many Reploids are prone to destructive, renegade activity and are thereafter referred to as Mavericks. The plot of the game follows the protagonist X, the latest creation of Dr. Light, and an android member of a military task force called the Maverick Hunters. Not to be confused with K-pop Demon Hunters. With the help of his partner Zero, the last creation of Dr. Wily, X must stop Sigma, a powerful Maverick leader, from taking over Earth and committing genocide against humanity. Looking at that box art, you are not walking by this thing in Blockbuster and not picking it up. And that's if you didn't even know it was coming out already. Mega Man got a mega glow up. He's looking full Power Ranger, full Gundam Warrior mode. And it's an odd choice with the blue background. Being Launch Octopus's level. You got Launch Octopus on there and the ship submarine thing in the background. That's kind of it. So it's like the underwater level. I feel like I would have... It looks good, but then it's like the blue on blue. It's kind of... But I mean, Mega Man's pop, it's the white. It's got all that white armor on Mega Man standing out now. And of course, the Roman numeral confusion. Nintendo, they've been teaching us Roman numerals for years with their games, just to throw us for a loop with Mega Man X. With the X, it's not Mega Man 10. People were confused. By this point, we had Mega Man 1 through 5 on the NES. And I believe Mega Man 6 actually came out like a month or two after Mega Man X. North American release, but then you had the 4 or 5 Game Boy games out by then. So it's like people were doing the math, like, is this Mega Man 10? But no, it's a whole new game. They didn't go with the Super Mega Man. They were thinking about it, going Super Mega Man, just like every other Super game on the Super Nintendo. But they went with Mega Man X, and I still love the box art. They go a little crazy from there. A lot more detail on your X2 and your X3 box art and stuff like that. But let's get right into it. We're going to get into it here with the history.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Mega Man has plenty of history. He has a plethora of games on the NES, and while the manuals make for an interesting story, mix it in with that ridiculous early artwork, and you can start to piece together Mega Man's story. Things get a little weird on the NES. You got Proto Man. Is Proto Man the bad guy? Isn't he the bad guy? Where'd Dr. Wily go? But if you really want the deep lore, if you really want to feel all the emotions of the history and legacy of the Blue Bomber, then look no further than the Mega Man cartoon, baby. 2 seasons from 1994 to 1995. And again, that's why there's times when I love the internet, and this was one of them. Of course, I'm going to pull the Mega Man cartoon theme for you guys. You know that. But then in the comment section of the Mega Man cartoon theme, everybody was rattling off about this German Mega Man cartoon theme. Same cartoon, that they do the same cartoon around the world. They dub it. You guys know what I'm talking about. But they will make new title tracks. So it's the same animation playing for the title, but they made a different song in Germany, even though it's still just repeating the words Mega Man over and over, which you'll hear. But listen to the North American Mega Man cartoon intro. Robot. Super fighting robot. All right, we'll pause that. Now that's it's very 90s, right? It's almost like got some He-Man vibes in it. It's got you can hear the Mega Man music kind of mixed up and dubbed in the background. But I want you to grab your glow sticks. I want you to grab your pacifiers, and I want you to jam out to this intro theme from the German dub Mega Man cartoon. Oh, it slaps so hard. All right, I'll stop. There's just no reason for that song to go as hard as it does. So thank you, Germans. You guys are all right. That's my heritage. I got family in Germany, I think, out there somewhere. Anyway, Mega Man, the cartoon, based off the popular video game. It's the year 20X. So we got 20X. So this show takes place in the past, but also the future past. So keep that in mind. You got robot scientists Dr. Thomas Light and Dr. Albert Wiley were completing their special project, Robot Assistance, which would help humans with everyday work. However, Dr. Wiley had secretly reprogrammed the robots into fighting machines. Wiley intends to use these robots to take over the world. Cue the evil, mad doctor laughing sound effect. After Dr. Light learned of this, he decides to reprogram one of his robots, Rock. That's his male robot assistant. Dr. Light gave Rock state-of-the-art combat technology with the ability to copy another robot's weapon. Thus, Dr. Light created Mega Man. Now Mega Man has to stop Dr. Wily and his band of robots from taking over the world. So check out this cast of characters. We got Mega Man. This is just the regular Mega Man. It is not Mega Man X yet. X gonna give it to you. X is going to give it to us later. So we got Mega Man, originally Rock, an assistant robot built by Dr. Light. He was rebuilt as a fighting robot after Wily reprogrammed Light's first industrial robots and attempted to reprogram Rock and Roll. He wields a plasma cannon on his left arm and can copy the abilities of robots by touching them. Just a little touch. He has several catchphrases in the show, the most common being sizzling circuits. I mean, he's got nothing on Link in his catchphrases.
Well, excuse me, princess.
We got Dr. Light in the show, scientist and inventor. You've got, he invented Cutman, Gutsman, and Iceman. Throughout the series, Light builds robots and inventions to help humanity. We got Roll, that's the household robot, and Mega Man's sister, who assists him on missions. She's like the Penny from like Inspector Gadget or something. She possesses several home appliances, most notably a vacuum cleaner. She has like a vacuum cleaner for like a hand, and I'm just gonna roll by any jokes with vacuum cleaner hands. I'm just gonna keep going. So unlike her usual video game appearance, usually that of a young teenage-like girl, Roll in the series has an appearance more of a young adult-like woman. I don't know what that matters for. And then you got Rush, Mega Man's robot dog, who has an enhanced sense of smell and hearing. He has several modes, with Mega Man using his jet mode for transportation. In some supporting roles, there is an episode in the series, one episode that has Mega Man X crossing over. We got a crossover episode. So in the show, the protagonist of Mega Man X, he appears in the episode Mega X, where he pursues Vile and Spark Mandrill through time to stop them from taking Litanium back to their own time to help Sigma finance his war against the humans. He shares Mega Man's ability to copy, but he can do so multiple times. As far as the villains, you got the villain, the worst guy in Mega Man's life, always causing trouble. It's going to be Dr. Wily.
You son of a bitch.
That's Dr. Light's former assistant, stole the plans for the prototype industrial robots after their first test with the humanoid robot failed. He used those plans to build Proto Man. He then fled, convinced that Light had sabotaged his work in order to take credit before returning with Proto Man and reprogramming those bots to exact vengeance on humanity. We've got Proto Man a lot in the show. It's Mega Man's older brother. Spoiler alert, I guess. And Wily's lackey, who has similar abilities to Mega Man. Despite working for Wily, Proto Man often disobeys him and ruins his plans due to his obsession with destroying Mega Man. Unlike in the games, Proto Man does not carry a shield. He's loyal to Wily alone, filling Bass's role, from Mega Man 7 onwards. So he kind of takes over. And then you've got Vile from Mega Man X. He makes an appearance in that one episode. He's a battle Reploid, Maverick Warrior, and Mandalorian wannabe who appears in Mega X along with Spark Mandrill, having traveled back in time for their leader Sigma. After learning that he possesses the schematics of the power plant containing Litanium, Vile forms an alliance with Wily in exchange for allowing him to use some of that Litanium to power up his blaster. However, his plans are thwarted by Mega Man and Mega Man X, who returns. They beat him. They send them all back to their own time. And so you got Spark Mandrill as well in that episode. He's the Mandrill-themed battle Reploid, Maverick Warrior, and Vile's partner. So despite those guys appearing in that one episode, and X in that episode, he's like crazy. He's like Homelander. Not that kind of. He's like just destroying everything to try to get Spark and Vile, like with no thought of destruction. And probably there's some people in that building, X, you just blew up type of situation. But anyway, the cartoon itself had all your classic robot masters from the first 5 Mega Man games. Like I said, Cut Man, Guts Man, we had Ice Man, Fire Man. That was a fire-themed robot, obviously. And Bomb Man, that was a bomb-themed robot. I like all the man robots from back in the day. Again, besides the animal-themed kind of Mavericks they go to in X, I like just the traditional Metal Man, Heat Man, Quick Man. You had Crash Man in the show. He appeared in the episode Mega Pinocchio, attacking a building until Mega Man stops him with he uses time bombs as opposed to his crash bombs. You got Heat Man, again, it's a weird Zippo-shaped lighter robot. I remember from the games, he spits fire out. You got Woodman, we always make fun of him. You got Gemini Man. He's a robot whose weapon is the Gemini laser, but in the TV show, he portrays the lead guitarist of the band Cold Steel as part of Dr. Wily's plot to brainwash humans into obeying him. Because it's the 90s, so yeah, they have an episode where 4 robots form a band and try to subconsciously take over humanity. We got Hard Man in there. Dive Man, Bright Man, Top Man, for some reason, is a favorite of mine. Pretty much every man you can think of. Napalm Man is in the intro, but not in the actual show anywhere. A few notes about the show. The series had a budget of $300,000 per episode, and I know nothing about money, but it's like the intro is a lot different than the rest of the show. I think all that money, all their budget went into the intro, and then they just kind of MS Paint and copy and pasted the rest of the show. But like I said, in one episode, it's 3 of Wily's robots pose as a rock band and hypnotize people with music. Sparkman, the leader of this robot band, was voiced by real-life rock star Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
There's your fact for the day. Between the Mega Man games 1 through 5, it's Flashman, Bubbleman, Skullman, and Chargeman are the only robots not to appear on the show. You got Proto Man, Gutsman, and Cutman are Wily's most commonly used robots on the show. All 3 appear in every episode of the show. And finally, Mega Man doesn't change color schemes when he copies weapons from Dr. Wily's robots, just like he does in the games.
You're killing me, Smalls.
That's like my favorite part of Mega Man, but I'm assuming changing Mega Man's color would probably add about like $60,000 to the cost of every episode. I don't know the cost of things. Let's get out of the cartoon into the development of Mega Man X.
Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
So Mega Man X, developed by a team at Capcom, which had worked on the long-running Mega Man series for the NES. You know, Nintendo and Capcom, it's like Nintendo and Rare. It's just one of those matches made in heaven. We got, according to the lead artist, Keiji Inufune, the development of Mega Man X required a lot of brainstorming for its storyline. The team's goal was to branch out from original Mega Man games while still maintaining their fundamentals. So in the original Mega Man series, Keiji typically designed the protagonist while his protege, Hayato Kaji, handled the supporting characters. However, for Mega Man X, they decided to switch it up. So Hayato came up with the protagonist X in his design. He had a difficult time initially with the design. He was presented with much more freedom than he was accustomed to with the SNES's larger palette of colors when compared to the Nintendo. So it's like how... I assume they went through that with all the games, between Mario, between Zelda, Donkey Kong, like all these things. Like how much do you upgrade from the 8-bit to the 16-bit while still maintaining that kind of sprite that we all grew up and loved? Obviously, the Mega Man sprite from the original Nintendo, at least in the artist's mind of Mega Man 1 and 2 box art covers there, Mega Man is like a human dude with, like, in the first game, he's got like a football helmet and a handgun, essentially. But then it's like then they develop the sprite, and it's like, no, we like the sprite. Don't add details to change the sprite. Just kind of beef it up a little bit. So that's what they did here. Keiji and Hayato worked simultaneously on the various designs for X with different pieces of armor attached. The idea for the armor parts came about thanks to role-playing video games, those RPGs becoming extremely popular. We were talking about that recently in Super Mario RPG. So Hayato felt that Mega Man had always represented a classic action game formula in which the hero earns his defeated enemy's abilities, kind of like Kirby style. So the armor parts were added to supplement this concept, not kind of take over. So they wanted to add to the Mega Man formula, not distract from it. And I think they did a pretty good job with the armor upgrades. Meanwhile, Keiji created the character Zero, whom was originally intended to be the game's main playable protagonist. He says, quote, "When the X series came out, I really wanted to redesign Mega Man. I wanted a totally different Mega Man. I'm a designer, a creator. I wanted something new. I didn't want to use the same old Mega Man," end quote. So he designed Zero, but fearing a negative reaction from fans, Zero was ultimately reduced to a supporting role. The development team wanted the world of Mega Man X to be darker and grittier than the first Mega Man series, and I think they accomplished that, especially even on the kind of the first stage is kind of this, you know, apocalyptic crumbling highway with robots everywhere. As far as Zero himself, it's probably a good choice they didn't just go straight to a new game with Zero. And you got to kind of, we're kids. You got to kind of walk that stuff in with us. We got to take baby steps to get to a Zero game. You can't just take away Mega Man. So to accomplish that darker, grittier tone, they gave Zero a hardcore personality, and the game's antagonist was changed from the goofy, kind of like Dr. Robotnik-like Dr. Wily, to the more dangerous Kefka-like Sigma. As stated by Keiji, the original series villain Dr. Wily had a, quote, "side to him you really couldn't hate. It's like Dr. Evil, like you love to hate him. But Sigma, however, was written as a once good character, suffering an unforeseen error that leads him to be completely evil." And then the game story went through several changes during development. There were two allies of X named RX and RY. They had appeared in previews of the games, but were later taken out. And then Mega Man X altered the franchise tradition of having theme boss characters with a man moniker by replacing them with the anthropomorphic animal-like androids. The team was careful in making the bosses distinct from one another in both stature and coloring, and mission accomplished there. I've said it before, something about the mix of robot and animals. I mean, you do it in like the Sonic games and stuff like that, but or like jungle worlds, nature and robotic stuff like trees made out of metal or animals like to make it. So I like the animal robot mix, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. Although I do miss the man monikers, but we've got more Mega Man games for that. And I think Mega Man 9 or 10 had the first woman. I forget her name, the first woman robot. They kind of skipped the man thing there. It was almost named Super Mega Man, like I said, before they went with X. There are upwards of 200 games on the SNES, I think, with Super in the title. You know, it started Super Mario World, and then it just went from there. Super Castlevania, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Metroid. There was Super Adventure Island. Everything was getting super on the SNES. But let's move on. Let's talk about the release.
Shut up and take my money.
Mega Man X has been widely acclaimed by critics since its release. Some people say it's the best Super Nintendo game, period. Gaming magazines in the US and Europe, including EGM, GamePro, Nintendo Power, Game Players, they all consistently lauded the game's visuals, audio control, and just overall gameplay. But it received some criticism as well. I'm going to name these guys so you guys can find them and you go tell them how great Mega Man X is. Ed Semred, Daniel Carpenter, Al Manuel over at EGM on the review panel all noted that the game may have too low a difficulty level. With Semred disliked the introductory highway stage, felt that the game was too short as well. Superplay editor Zy Nicholson lowered his review score of the game because he found the levels were neither large nor challenging. He said, quote, a few elementary tricks like repeating easy sections to recoup energy and weapon power will see you through the harder bits. Within the level, you'll also find restart points, extra lives, and no harsh time limit to put pressure on your opponent, on your performance. Couple this with a reward system that records your level completion, status, and weapon accumulation, and you'll see we're not looking at a lasting challenge for the experienced player. Meanwhile, Nintendo Power criticized it too with how little the game had changed, stating that, quote, the theme remains the same as the Game Boy and NES Mega Man titles, end quote. And then the game's title, again, proved some confusion. The gaming media, a lot of them were reporting at it as Mega Man 10 as opposed to Mega Man X. But those are all, I guess, good critiques of the game. It's not a very difficult game when we're talking about Mega Man games. There are a lot of spots you can just spam enemies to regain your energy. It's got the refillable sub tanks. It's got the levels are kind of smaller. There are some hard sections, but then you got things like your invincibility, chameleon sting shield. So it's easier than some parts. There's no vanishing blocks like some of the older Mega Man games that really take me out. So I thought I'd throw in some critiques so we're not just gushing over this game all day. But I'm starting now because we're going to start talking about the music.
Groovy!
The musical score for Mega Man X was composed by Capcom's Elf Lyle group. We got Setsuo Yamamoto was initially the sole composer assigned to the game and contributed the vast majority of the soundtrack. But 4 other composers, Yuki Iwawa, Toshiyako Hiroyama, Yuko Takihara, and Makoto Tomazaro were brought in late in production to help finish the soundtrack. And again, apologize for butchering your names, but you guys made this music I love, so I'm trying to shout you guys out, even though nobody listens to this podcast. I appreciate you guys. Iwa, one of the Yuki, that's a better name, and Hiroyama would later compose the soundtracks for X2 and X4 respectively. The Japanese division of Sony Records published an arranged album featuring 10 songs in 1994. Music using the SNES instrumentals were included as part of the Capcom Music Generation: Rockman X1 through X6 soundtrack. That's a big title. That was released in 2003. And from there, just tons of remixes to a lot of these Mega Man tracks. Mega Man music itself, all the NES stuff, all the Super Nintendo stuff, has always been considered top of the line, right up there with, David Weiss's like Donkey Kong Country tracks. See, I'm starting to learn these composers. Koji Kondo, he's got a bunch of great music on the NES as well. So shout out to all these composers. I hear your music in my dreams. So we're going to hear a little bit more, and we're going to get right into the game chat. Let's play. I'm going to play every single Maverick track for you guys as we go through them, so look forward to that music. Right now, we're going to hear a little bit. This is going to be the Sigma Stage 2. It's another popular one, so take a listen, and we'll get right into the game chat. Oh, good stuff, guys. Let's get into the characters. We're going to talk our Maverick Hunters first, possibly future members of the band K-pop Maverick Hunters. We can dream, right? First, we're talking about our protagonist, X.
X gon' give it to you.
X is the main protagonist of the series. He was created by the genius inventor Dr. Light sometime in 20XX, modeled after the original Mega Man. X was then found by Dr. Kane, an archaeologist in the year 21XX. After he uncovered the ruin of Dr. Light's former laboratory, Kane became fascinated with robots and began to use X as a template to create even more like him. X now battles the Mavericks, led by Sigma, with his friend and fellow Maverick Hunter Zero. They're gonna show the Mavericks how it's done. So you got Zero. It's another protagonist in the series and close friend to X. Zero is a reprogrammed rogue who struggles to know his past and only fights to protect humans, as he still believes he is a threat to society. Together with X, he fights the Mavericks, led by the rogue Sigma. Next up, Dr. Kane. Dr. Kane is the human archaeologist who later became a robot expert after finding X. After awakening X, Kane invents Reploids, sapient robots based on X's designs, with the most notable being Sigma. Once Sigma went rogue and gained enough loyal followers, Kane founded the Maverick Hunters, whose job it is to destroy the rogue Reploids known as Mavericks. Let's talk about those Mavericks. Let's talk about the bad guys.
You son of a bitch.
Sigma, the original leader of the Maverick Hunters, designed by Dr. Kane to be the perfect Reploid. Sigma was implemented with devices to protect him from turning Maverick. These devices failed, and Sigma ended up being the evil, bad leader of the Mavericks, with his partner, his Mandalorian Boba Fett wannabe, Vile. Vile is a recurring minor villain in the Mega Man X series and frequently reappears as a mid-game boss. He has a distinctive helm with a T-shaped visor, bearing a striking resemblance to Boba Fett. Vile is introduced in Mega Man X, where he is a former Maverick Hunter, now serving Sigma as his right-hand man. So there is your cast of characters. We've got a lot. There's a good amount in the manual of stuff to read. It's got a Nintendo Power spread that's a couple pages, got level layouts and everything. So there is some reading for you to do if you find it. As far as the controls, your basic Mega Man controls, we've got the charge up shot. That's been continued for a while. You've got your new wall jump. That's one you don't have to earn. You just get it, and you'll find out about that real soon. Then you got some fancy new upgrades that'll come along the way. But really the biggest thing, I think, that set the controls aside for Mega Man X is L and R to swap your weapons. You don't know more of just going into the pause screen constantly, although you still probably kind of do. But that's a good improvement. So we got a new Mega Man. We got a new villain and story. We've got Maverick Renegades. Let's freaking go. Let's get into this gameplay. Mega Man X got all the upgrades on the SNES. You've got cool schematic artwork everywhere. You've got your classic enemies upgraded, just giving a little more detail to these things. The bats, the little hard hat enemies, a lot of robots you've seen from previous games, getting a little bit more detail. Now you don't have to reference the manual so much in pictures to kind of figure out what those things are. The E-tanks are replaced. They're refillable sub-tanks now. You've got the RPG details like the upgraded armor and health upgrades. It is definitely feeling super. So let's dive right in, just like they do with this game. You don't need to read anything. Just play the awesome highway tutorial level, because this level design teaches you all your new moves without a single word of text. You just jump in, you fight some giant robot hornets. When it drops down, it's like that's how you learn to wall climb. Again, no words. You're just going to start pushing buttons to do it. And that's how I liked playing games back then, or that's how I would learn playing games. Like, you just jump in and you just start hitting buttons till you learn things. It's a lot harder on fighting games, trying to find out combos and things. That might not be the way, but I do like just jumping into a game, going wild for a little bit, and then kind of falling back if you need to kind of learn some things, maybe grab the manual from there. So again, you fight those giant hornets. There's your introduction to like vehicle parts of the level, because there's robots on cars, and then you can shoot the robot out of the car and then kind of ride the car around like a surfboard. And then you get to your first big fight, your Vile fight, and one of a few fights in this game, at least the two, that you can't win at all. How many of you were hitting reset? How many of you were kind of like me, trying like everything to beat Vile at the beginning? But you can't. That's an RPG trope, which is the worst in like real RPGs, when you're using all your items and health stuff on a fight that you didn't know you're supposed to lose at to continue the story. So this is one of those. You can't win. The story's picking up now. Zero hops in to save X. And then the story, essentially, you're going to, take down Sigma. You're going to get more powerful. I'll see you at the end of the game. X, I'm out of here. And then that's Zero. He flies away. We'll see Zero later. But that's the game opens up. Now we're into our classic kind of Mega Man menu area. Now we can start to check out this Mega Man world.
I can show you the world.
And it's got a few more kind of upgrades there. On your level selection, you can do things like you can see an actual map of where the levels are. And it's kind of cool because the levels play into themselves, that we're going to talk about, as far as beating one level changes what happens in another level. It's also got kind of fun boss stats. If you want to see like how tall and how much these robot Mavericks weigh. I think who's the tallest? 10 foot for Spark Mandrill, maybe. And then you've got kind of level previews too. It'll kind of show you a little background of a level. And we're going to start in the order, what's it called? The weakness order. It's essentially the order where every boss you beat, then your weapon is the weakness for the following boss, which does make for, I guess, a boring kind of playthrough. But it's the playthrough that you learn. There are kind of other fun things depending on what bosses you beat first. There's also, kind of purists out there where it is kind of, there are these things to this fight, like Spark Mandrill is a whole fight where you're doing all sorts of weird things if you've just got your X-Buster. But if you got your shotgun ice, you're just stun locking him the whole time. He doesn't even move. So it takes these well-designed and entertaining boss fights and really dumbs them down if you have those weapons. But that's always kind of part of the fun too. You'd fight so hard making it through this level just to realize that your new weapon does nothing to this boss, so you'll just die a bunch of times. But then finally finding that weakness, hitting a boss for the first time with a weapon and seeing like 4 or 5 bars of energy go, and you're just like, yes, I got it, let's go. So the level selection looks good. We're going to go to our first one. No matter the order, this is usually the first one, and it's going to be Chill Penguin. All right, Chill Penguin. I could just let the whole track play, make this episode super long, because I forget. I'm just like listening to the music, and then I realize, oh yeah, I'm podcasting. I got to talk again. So we got Chill Penguin. It's a snow mountain level. His stage is located in the South Pole. He once watched over an abandoned missile base to keep it safe from intruders, but commandeered it in the Maverick Rebellion. His area contains many Arctic-themed mechanoid enemies, and you got a suit of ride armor you can jack for your own benefit. This level has your first upgrade. It's got your leg upgrade, gives you the dash technique. Again, with the upgrades, it shows it on your sprite. that was one of my favorite parts, to jump in there in your little Star Wars looking blue teleport looking machine there, and then seeing the upgrades on your actual character. You got your dash on the ground, you got dash jumping, you can make it halfway across the level, and then dash shooting, which is just shooting while dashing, but is like 50% more damage, I think, when you're shooting while dashing. Other things in the level, it's got the hop in the mech suit part, which is really cool. It's really short, but it's like something about hopping in that giant mech suit is fun. Every level contains a heart container. In this case, you're going to need a special weapon to even get to it, so we'll ignore that for now. But once you get to the boss fight, your easiest one here with Chill Penguin does some snowstorm stuff, some ice statue stuff. But you've mastered wall climbing by now, hopefully. So it's just a lot of that. And if you're like me, on every single boss, you got to go in with a charge buster. Sometimes you'll get them. You'll get that free kind of powered up charge shot right off the bat. Sometimes not. Sometimes they're blocking or jumping. But if you're like me, number one, I'm always charged up, jumping in the room. Number two, I'm always jumping in the room. Like when it does those like slides, when you go through the door and Mega Man's there and the level slide, like I've always got to be in air in that like Mega Man pose. That's just, I like to jump through my Mega Man screens in the air. I like to kind of float over there. But anyway, we're going to highlight mainly as we go through these levels, the weapons, because those are the biggest, bestest parts of being Mega Man. So take down Chill Penguin with your X-Buster and you've got yourself some shotgun ice. And it shows you every time you win a cool little schematic, shows you your new color palette, and then it shows you, which we never had, a quick little visual what this weapon kind of does animation. I mean, it only shows you your first weapon, your primary weapon. It doesn't show your charged up stuff because we don't get our gun in this walkthrough till mainly the end of the game as far as the charge ups. But you got shotgun ice, real nice blue and yellow palette for Mega Man. Fires a single blast of ice that shatters on impact, spraying 5 shards of ice backwards. When charged, X shoots a small chunk of ice that assumes the form of a snowboard in the shape of Chill Penguin himself, crouched on his belly to mimic his slide attack. It's flat on top. X can stand on top of it, slide around like he's playing Cool Borders or something like that. And again, it's got those little on-screen demos for you when you pick up those items. It kind of helps to see what it's going to do, but it's also fun to just jump in the next level and just see what your new weapon does. Let's talk about some of the items you're going to get throughout the game. Some little golden mini power pellets and your big pellets for your health, which again, now we're SNES, so those things look like actual. It's not your Pac-Man dot from your NES games. It looks like a little energy capsule, you can tell. It's got your weapon pellets as well, big and small, and then classic Mega Man face for your 1-up. Always appreciated. You'll also be getting a heart tank. Those are in every level. It increases your health, your overall health. You got sub-tanks. There's 4 of them, replacing the E-tanks, and you got your 4 armor upgrades. So keep an eye out for all of those things as we move into our next level, Spark Mandrill. Hold on, you gotta let this drop real quick. Here we go. Okay, all right, I'll stop. Oh, that's a good track. Spark Mandrill. Spark's level takes place at the local power plant right by Homer Simpson. You're avoiding sparks. The lights are going out. These are classic Mega Man levels. There's 2 of them for me when I think of Mega Man. You know, when you're thinking Sonic in his special levels, I'm thinking of Casino Night Zone. I'm thinking Sonic in his crazy casino levels. You know, you got your Mario, all those levels, a lot of grass and green and colored blocks and backgrounds and things. But when I'm thinking Mega Man, I'm thinking electricity levels and I'm thinking construction levels. And we get them both in this game, starting with your electricity level here. You've got a mini boss. You've got Thunder Slimer. You're going to have some mini bosses in this game. And this is one of those levels where if you had done Storm Eagle earlier, Storm Eagle's level is like a giant plane, and if you beat that, it crashes into Spark's power plant here. So if you have beaten Storm Eagle, there's going to be less electricity in this level. The mini boss here, Thunder Slimer, doesn't have his electricity power that he does if we're beating it like we are now on our second boss for this playthrough here. But just more to add. It's hard to add replay to a Mega Man game once you know a boss order. So adding stuff like levels that changed adds to that replay value, and I appreciate that. Thunder Slime, some of the mini bosses are harder than the regular bosses, with Thunder Slimer being kind of one of them, because you're still just kind of in your X-Buster kind of mode. But he's not too bad. Take him out. Moving on to the boss himself, Spark Mandrill. Now that you've got Shotgun Ice, he is cake. He does nothing. You shoot him, he freezes, busts out. You shoot him, rinse, and repeat. But the star of the show is going to be Electric Spark. We got a nice kind of white tan color palette going on here. Carter, my son, if you ever listen to this episode, I'm sorry that none of these colors make sense to you, because you are quite colorblind. So if I say purple, you're going to see blue. It's all good. Love you, kid. Electric Spark fires a purple spark, or blue if my kid's looking at it, that does a good amount of damage. If a projectile hits a wall, it will separate into two smaller but equal sparks that travel along the wall vertically in opposite directions. When charged, it fires two spark columns, one in front of X and the other one from behind. X is gonna give it to you. Speaking of those level changes, let's go over all of them here. So if you beat Chill Penguin first, or before Flame Mammoth, like we did, we beat Chill Penguin. Now when we go to Flame Mammoth's level, all that fire in this big flame factory is frozen over, because Chill Penguin, the AC blew, and everything's now cold in the old factory over there. You're going to need that. You're going to need to beat Chill Penguin before Flame Mammoth to get the heart piece in Flame Mammoth, but you need Flame Mammoth's weapon to come back and get the heart piece in Chill Penguin's level. It's all good. You beat Launch Octopus in his underwater level. It's going to leak over, break the dam. It's going to flood over in the jungle of Sting Chameleon's level. And then finally, like I was saying, if you beat Storm Eagle, it's going to crash into Spark Mandrill's electric factory type thing and do a bunch of damage over there. I think there's a couple other small kind of level things, but those are the three main big ones, I think, as we move on. As we get to our third Maverick here, we're going after Armored Armadillo. That's enough of you, Armored Armadillo. It's not my favorite. I'll tell you when I get to my favorite. It's coming up soon. Armored Armadillo stage takes place deep underground. It's full of a bunch of robots wanting to kill you. It's got some Donkey Kong madness where you get to ride on a cart. You got to try to make some quick jumps there if you're going to want that heart tank and that sub tank. Well, I guess that's in the Crusher part of the level. There's a Crusher bot type thing that chases you through like a tunnel, which is good. Good Mega Man stuff, and just any robots. Giant. There's a difference between just your kind of mini little robot, humanoid robots and your Mavericks versus some of the just giant robot machines that Mega Man has to face in his life. But this is the classic Mega Man construction level. You got the hard hat enemies. They're like, to me, those are like the Goombas of the Mega Man series. The little hard hat guys. What's going? I still don't know. They're mysterious to me. They're like Shy Guys. I don't know what's happening behind that hood. This is also the level we'll talk about later. It's your Hadouken level. You guys in the know exactly what I'm talking about. But let's get to the boss. I can't think of anything super special. Again, it's the construction level, so it's like construction beams and kind of underground. And a lot of the robots, the enemies are cool. They're themed to like the level. So you have these like digger bots in this level. When you're in the jungle, you have like axemen robots chopping down, I don't know, metal robot trees. But they go with like level design. So it's not just all random. So when it comes to taking out Armored Armadillo,
it's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of gum.
It's going to be easy. Now that we got Electric Spark, it's one of my next favorite things about the game. It shatters the armadillo's Armadillo's armor, and you can take him down like nothing. Once his armor's gone, he's just a little weak rat-looking thing. So besides the level changes, there are some fun boss changes you can do depending on what weapon you have. In this case, Electric Spark knocks out his armor, and you can take him down super easy. There's a few other ones as we go that I'll mention. And again, depending on boss order, you might never know this. You might not ever be able to come across that if you didn't go and play through it again, or just try every weapon on every boss to see what happens. That's another fun part of all the Mega Man games. In this case, we're going to win ourselves Rolling Shield, this one's kind of a pink and white palette, and it's going to change depending on if you have the upgrades. So we've still got like our white kind of upgrades on our legs and our shins from our dash upgrade. So all the white's going to kind of overpower these other color palettes, or you'll accent these other colors into it. So you got Rolling Shield, fires a large round orb that bounces off walls, but when it hits an enemy, it will explode on contact. When charged, the shield will encase X and become a protective barrier, kind of like a Sonic the Hedgehog shield. Except in this case, the barrier can destroy any enemy with under 3 hit points, but if it encounters a bigger one, then the shield's going to pop. So it's cool to kind of have a shield that can take out enemies as well. We're going to keep on moving. Where are we at? We are at our next boss. We're going underwater. We're going to take a swim, and we're going to go check out Launch Octopus. All right, we got ourselves a water level, but it's fun. Launch Octopus resides deep underwater, where many deep-sea robots will block your path. The stage features 4 sub-bosses. Like every other Mega Man game, X will do a crazy Game Genie moon jump when he's underwater, higher than he does when he's on the ground. Not fun if you got spikes on the top of the water, but not a lot of craziness. The fun part is it starts out like a beach level. So you've got the kind of shallow water, but you can tell you're like launching out of it, and then you kind of hit gravity outside of water and slow down a little bit. So I like the changes in gravity in and out. We got a few mini bosses, the angler fish looking submarine robot fish things that there's a name for, I'm sure. And then big water snake guy, fight bad, don't ride on him guy. That's another thing. You fight him twice maybe in this level. It's almost like the snake dragon kind of thing from like Zelda Link to the Past. I feel like you're you can ride on it, but maybe you don't want to, because then you'll end up falling into the spikes and stuff underneath. But then there's 2 different instances with this snake guy. But the point being, it's fun that you can jump on him and hit him in the head if you choose to, but I tend to just stay underneath him and take him out. For the boss, we got fun more secrets. If you're trying out all your weapons on this guy, we'll show you how it's done. If you've got the cutter weapon from Boomer, you can slice off Launch's tentacles. You almost feel kind of sad. It's almost like neutering the poor guy. Other than that, you can just get in his face with Rolling Shield. He's one of the tougher fights in the game, I think, because you're still taking a lot of damage even with Rolling Shield, because he is just all over the place when it comes to Launch Octopus. But you fight him and you get yourself a little mistranslation in the game, and you just earned yourself some homing torpedoes, which is hard to say together. It's really homing torpedoes. It's spelled in the game homing torpedoes. So it's fun misspellings for me. You can't go, they take it out in other games, I think, in the future, but I love old games that you can't go back and fix anything. You just gotta roll with it, and it plants itself in a video game legacy, and then some weirdo in his mom's basement is doing a podcast and talking about it. So the homing torpedoes fires a homing missile at enemies, which will search for an enemy and explode on contact. 2 can be fired in rapid succession. When charged, 4 piranha-shaped torpedoes will fly out to seek enemies. And homing, I'm going to keep saying homing because I can't help it now. It's pretty clutch in a Mega Man game where things are flying around a lot, mainly the ladders, getting stunned, falling off of that kind of stuff, falling into the spikes. It's nice to have the homing torpedoes out there working for you, make them work for you. Next up, one of the weirdest names, and if I had a Super Nintendo Chalmers Award at the end of the episode, it would be the best name in the game is going to be Boomer Cawanger. Oh, let's talk about Boomer Cawanger. And if you ever wonder what Cawanger means, where did they come up with this name? It comes from the Japanese word kuwagato, which means stag beetle. That's why he looks like a beetle. He looks like a dung beetle with his little pinchers on the top. So I guess Boomer Beetle would even be a North American name, but I like Boomer Cawanger. It's like a tower stage, kind of starts in like a sewer area, but you're going to be doing a lot of vertical. Mega Man does a lot of vertical in his games, which kind of, make it what it is. And this one's got a lot where it's like an elevator, spikes on the side, avoiding spikes on the top, a lot of that kind of stuff going on. For the boss itself, he's kind of just like Cutman. He looks like Cutman's long-lost, beefed-up cousin. So you're going to avoid the cutter, you're going to fire the torpedoes, and you are going to just take this guy out. X is going to give it to him. He's going to get himself the boomerang cutter, which is a fun weapon because if it's kind of spontaneous, or at least like you don't think it's going to do what you do when you jump. You got the boomerang cutter, fires a boomerang that travels in a circle in front of X. When you're standing still, the boomerang is going to travel upwards. When you jump, it's going to travel downwards, so it's never a straight shot. You can fire 3 in rapid succession, and the boomerangs can even be used to grab items out of reach. When charged, it fires 4 large boomerangs in cardinal directions that pinwheel out to strike enemies like a shuriken attack. You've got kind of a gray and kind of teal color palette going on with this. Looks good. The boomerangs look good. They look little batarangs. Now that we've got that specific boomerang cutter, we can go do some other stuff.
It's a secret.
Shut up.
You can go back into boomer stage, get that heart. You're going to need the cutter for that, or a real tricky, I think, kind of jump with Chill Penguin's platform. I think you can get that heart container. You can also, now that we've got the cutter, go back to Spark Mandrill stage and get the sub tank that is through one of the walls there. So we're already backtracking now. We're going to make our way to the jungle, make our way to Sting Chameleon. All right, Sting Chameleon. It's a forest stage. Like I was saying earlier, I love nature and robots mixed together like this. We've got a mini boss, RT55J, just a big robot mech type of guy. And you're going to want to beat this guy because it's going to have another great upgrade for our boy X here with the shoulder pad upgrade. It increases your armor, but mainly it gets points for the fashion. You're rocking those shoulder pads bigger than mom's in the 80s, and now it just adds this kind of bulkiness. I feel like the shoulder pads are what makes Mega Man X like Mega Man X. Now we're getting that, as soon as he gets his flare on his helmet and it's full Gundam anime robot guys, then it's X, and it's no longer Mega Man. But this level's got more mech suit fighting. It's got the secret areas now. If you flooded it from Launch Octopus's level, I think that's how you get in there and get the heart container. The boss itself, he's pretty easy, Sting Chameleon, but he looks cool. I can't think of anything else really in the level. It's got, again, the enemies are fun in this one because it's got the Axemen robots. It's got robot birds and parrots trying to take you out. So robot animals are fun. They're not the ones, these aren't the ones Sonic's trying to save. These ones are trying to kill you. So you get to Chameleon Sting, or Sting Chameleon, the boss. He's pretty easy, like I said. But from him, you get Chameleon Sting, your weapon. And probably my favorite color palette, because now that you've got the shoulder pads and the big white boot looking things, and you get this green and white going on, you're looking like the Green Ranger. You're looking like you're ready to go take on Rita Repulsa. Like Tommy himself, go get him. So I really like that. Chameleon Sting fires a plasma ball, which then separates into 3 spikes that travel diagonally upwards, straight ahead, diagonally downwards. But the kicker, when charged, X's body turns transparent, goes full techno color show, flashes through the color spectrum as X becomes invincible for a short amount of time. So you've got yourself a little superstar action going on now. And of course, you're taking out whatever your last weapon is. So we're taking out Sting Chameleon with the cutter. And he's swinging up top, and you just kind of hang out down low, and the cutter goes right where he is to take him out. Coming up next, I told you I'd tell you, it's my favorite music track, I think, of the entire game. It's going to be for Storm Eagle. Stop playing it. Can't push the button. All right, Storm Eagle. Taking place at another cool level, a big airport, and then eventually in the sky. The stage features, it's got your heart tank, it's got a sub-tank in it, it's got the helmet upgrade, which allows you to destroy breakable blocks with your helmet, but mainly your helmet just looks cooler. It's also a short level, features no sub-bosses at all.
I bet my walkie.
But it does feature the best music, and the helmet looks great. The Mario-style brick smashing, it's only used like twice in the game or something, but it looks good. And yes, that one hard-ass jump to get the weapons upgrade that we're going to talk about next. The boss is cool. At least his sprite looks good with his big wings, but the intro is different. Instead of walking through the gates, Storm Eagle just busts through like the top as you're at the top of this plane. He's got lots of wind effects, as you'd expect with a boss like that, but Chameleon Sting takes it out pretty quick. Moving on, you get Storm Tornado, purple, white kind of palette. Storm Tornado fires a large gust of wind forward that can easily destroy multiple enemies. It just keeps going. When charged, X will create a vertical whirlwind that spans the height of the game screen. It can hit enemies from above and below before the wind tunnel dissipates. And again, after defeating Storm Eagle, the aircraft on which you fought finishes falling, crashes into the beginning of Spark Mandrill stage, knocking out a lot of the power, making that easier if you end up going to that level next. But we're moving on to the final level in at least our first run of our Maverick bosses here, and we're going to take on Flame Mammoth. Flame Mammoth, we're back. Things are cooling off here at the Flame Factory, thanks to Chill Penguin and beating that level. But it's got It's got that tricky jump to get that weapons upgrade. You're going to get charges on all your special weapons. You also get a third tier of your X-Buster that looks pretty freaking mega, I must say. But that jump is tricky. I can't explain it. You guys know what I'm talking about if you make it. It's a tricky dash jump, breaking through some blocks to get that upgrade. If you don't get it here, they just give it to you later in the game. But you're going to want it here. So again, all the levels kind of iced over. So if you want to see what Flame Mammoth's level looks like intentionally, you got to get to it before Chill Penguin. It's going to make you want to get some of that replay in there. And the boss has another kind of fun, but also kind of sad, makes me a little sad. You can slice off the elephant. He's a mammoth. You can slice off his trunk with Cutter just to embarrass him a little bit before taking him out. So this level, yep, every level's got the heart. This one's got a sub tank. This one's got that armor upgrade. And you're going to get yourself Fire Wave. Your own personal flamethrower. When charged, X will send a cascade of flames across the ground that rise up in spires to scorch enemies. And now that we've beaten this, we're going to move on to the final part of the game. You can revisit Chill Penguin to get that heart. Now that you got your flame cannon, you can revisit Armadillo stage to get that Hadouken. We'll talk about later. But we're off to Sigma's Fortress.
You son of a bitch.
Where they switch up the usual boss rush. It kind of spreads it out a little bit. I do miss, so you just enter Sigma stage over and over again. I do miss the Dr. Wily's kind of overworld map. Like, it didn't do much as far as the game, but always reminded me of like Mighty Max, the cartoon, and Mighty Max, Mega Man. They seem to kind of go together. They both start with lots of M's. So you have 4 phases to the end of this game here. The Sigma Fortress. You've got X.
X gon' give it to you.
You've got 0. They're going to meet up, and then there's going to be another unbeatable fight against Vile, the Mando wannabe. 0, they're in mech suits. 0 sacrifices himself to take out the mech suit and give X a fighting chance. And fight he must. Take out that Boba Fett jerk with some nicely placed homing torpedoes. And from there, it's got some difficult platforming all around in these Sigma stages. It's not a straight boss rush, but the platforming in between can get pretty tricky. You're going to be you got your invincibility with Sting Chameleon, and you're going to use that probably a lot. A lot of just dash jumping over a lot of the stuff that's just trying to kill you. So you're going to do your boomer fight here again. We've got a mini boss and boss spider, which is like, it's fun. They change it up. It's more of like a level environment kind of fight because it kind of shows you the path the spider will take, and you got to get out of the way real quick before you can fire them. It is very much like that Mario Party game where it's got the chest at the top of the pipes, and you got to follow the camera up and figure out which one to drop. Anyway, moving on to Sigma 2. You got Chill Penguin to take out again. You're going to do some more mech suit fighting. You're going to take out Storm Eagle, but then you got the mini boss Rangda Bangda. And this is like the level boss fight. It's kind of like I was talking about before. Mega Man has a lot of them that are just like the boss is the whole screen. Like it's a big robot thing. In this case, it's a big robot face. You're going to take out the eyes as usual, as you would do on a big scary robot face. The stage works against you. It's got walls closing in, spikes underneath, but you've mastered the wall climb by now, so you can get out of this. Into Sigma 3, it's the real boss rush. You're going to take out the last 5 Mavericks. If you've got the Hadouken, practice that guy a little bit, and we'll talk about you can one-shot some enemies, some bosses if you want to. But having all your powers, you already know where you're going. You already know what you're going to do to take out each one and move on to the mini boss, D-Rex, another Mega Man classic of just a giant overpowering robot type thing. This one's got a big like chomper head. You've got to bounce through, kind of thread the needle there to make it. But we're going to move on to our final battle, Sigma 4. It's just straight up 3 boss fights. There's no real like platforming here. So you're just going to go boss after boss. You're going to want those sub tanks ready to go. You can like leave. You can go back into any other kind of levels at any point if you miss stuff and all those kind of things. It's not locking you out of anything. But your first fight, it's going to be against Bad Boy, Sigma's Wolf Dog, Guy Velgarder, I think. Where is Rush? Where is Rush to jump in and save the day and take out this wolf beast? You're just going to shotgun ice. I mean, all these bosses are pretty tough, but the particular weapon you want for the dog, the wolf, is shotgun ice. And the next fight is going to be against Sigma himself.
You son of a bitch.
But we're going to show you how it's done. Sigma's got a lightsaber. I don't know what's going on with that. But he uses electric sparks, lots of wall climbing. He's going to zigzag across it onto the final form, the hardest fight in the game. It's robot, dog, wolf, mecha fight initialize. It's like another level boss fight. The whole background looks like something out of Majora's Mask. He's got his big like electric claw things you got to jump on, avoiding lots of electric beams. But if you've got the skills, if you've got the sub tanks, you might just take down Sigma once and for all. Good job, good job. But don't go running away. Don't go anywhere yet. You've got the best part of some of the best credit sequences from any games come from the Mega Man games. It gives you all the sprites, highlights all the enemies and bosses along the way. And as Mega Man struggles with his purpose in life, he vows to continue the fight if necessary to stop evil in its tracks. And in an MCU fashion, you get a post-credit scene and teaser. Maybe you can guess what happens, but I'll save that spoiler for you to discover on your own. Nope, I'm kidding. It's Sigma. He isn't dead. Surprise! More X games, like 8 of them, to come at you. We're going to move on. We're going to keep talking about this game. We're going to give it some awards, but we've got to talk about something I've been mentioning, that Hadouken cheat.
It's a secret.
Shut up.
So the Hadouken in the stage, Armored Armadillo, you've got to have all the heart tanks, all the sub tanks, all the upgrades, and all the boss weapons. Head back into Armored Armadillo stage. As a reference to the other Capcom series, Street Fighter, there's a hidden upgrade capsule housing the Hadouken Fireball upgrade. Was placed into the game, complete with X actually yelling a tiny little Hadouken in a high-pitched voice. However, on the Mega Man X collection, X does not yell Hadouken. Why?
I bet my Wookiee.
That's like my favorite part, is when he's yelling Hadouken. You can access it in the Armored Armadillo stage after collecting all of those upgrades. Here's what you need to do. Here's what you got. Listen up.
Hey, listen.
Near the end of the stage, you'll come across the final platform that you can ride through the mine. You got to ride it until it flies off the tracks, dash jump off the cart onto the wall, and wall jump on up to get that health capsule. Then simply jump off the edge into the pit, rinse and repeat. After the third or fourth attempt, maybe the fifth, an upgrade capsule will appear to the right of the energy capsule on a ledge. Dr. Light will be dressed as Ryu from Street Fighter 2. He'll give you the Hadouken, which you have to actually cast like you would in Street Fighter with the down to right A, I think. But whatever. You'll figure it out when you get it. So you can kill any enemy, including bosses, in one hit, save for the final form of the final boss. But you also have to have full health to use the Hadouken. And there is about a half a second of charge time where you are vulnerable, so be careful there. But again, it's fun to have it on the boss rush, kind of run through those guys and see if you can get that shot off before you take a shot yourself, and then kind of lose the ability to Hadouken because you don't have any life, or you don't have a full health, so you can't do it. Let's talk about the legacy of this game. Mega Man X, of course, it was a commercial success. The SNES version sold 1.165 million copies worldwide as of 2001, making it the 41st best-selling Capcom game of all time. The game was followed by 7 direct sequels and 3 related titles, and Mega Man Extreme, Mega Man Extreme 2, and Mega Man X Command Mission. But I want to shine a little bit, put a little metal polish on this guy, the Mega Man Maverick Hunter X Enhanced Remake. It was made in 2005 for the PSP. So with the launch of the PSP, Keiji and his team debated on whether or not to create a Mega Man X9. He said, and by the way, it seems like Mega Man went after Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3 on the Super Nintendo. I feel like Mega Man X became kind of PlayStation's baby, and that's where all those games ended up being. But anyway, he said, quote, "We decided that instead of going the X9 route, let's go back to the series roots and rediscover what makes the X series so classic. We felt that the best way to do it would be to make an X remake." So, although the remake stays true to the original game in both gameplay and basic storyline, Maverick Hunter X features a total graphical overhaul with 3D character models and backgrounds, a remix soundtrack, voice acting, and anime cutscenes. It was all upgraded to resemble the characters from Mega Man X8. And I feel like it looks a lot like those Gundam Warrior robot things by now. It's almost very unlike Mega Man the more X's you get. It really does branch off and just kind of become its own thing. In addition to these changes, many of the power-ups are relocated to make it a little different. It's got a original video animation title at the beginning, and then it's got an unlockable mode. Here's another secret for you.
It's a secret.
Shut up.
You can play through the game as Vile, not Zero. You would think it would be Zero, but Keiji implemented this mode to offer players a new perspective on the game through the eyes of a villain, feeling it would be, quote, too obvious and boring given an option to play as Zero. And then, of course, another remake of Mega Man X was released on the Apple iOS on December in 2011. This version, based on the mobile phone version of the game, features touch controls, gross, and a challenge mode with 80 levels. However, this version removed extra life power-ups and separated the levels into chunks by black screen transitions as opposed to the continuous scrolling of the original. Weapon and armor upgrades could also be purchased with actual money to ease the game's difficulty.
You son of a bitch.
We don't want any pay-to-win crap with our Mega Man games. We will put in the work, Nintendo. Goodness, guys with your touchscreen phone transaction games, I hate them all. Nintendo re-released Mega Man X in September as part of the company's Super NES Classic Edition. That baby I had to hunt down forever. And now I have two of them. And I love them both. I got the regular and I got the PAL version. So we're going to see. You've heard me gush about this game for an hour now. Let's see what some of the other internet thinks. Let's check out some comments. We're going to dish out some awards and we're going to keep getting Mega Man. Let's go.
Aren't you a little old for video games?
That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
What do all the things that you want to do?
Throw me a frickin' bone here. I'm the boss. Need the info.
I've lived in mortal terror that this would happen.
Get on with the ceremony.
All right, let's see what you guys think. I didn't pull too many comments. There's a lot of people, and we all love Mega Man X, but let's see what some of you say. We got Zapnir here. Says, I remember back when I picked up an SNES at my neighbor's yard sale in the mid-90s. Mega Man X was the first game I played on it and played it a ton. Never beat it when I was a kid, though. Got pretty far, all the way to the final boss, but couldn't finish it. Then a few years ago, played through it again with the determination to beat it, and being an adult now, was finally able to do it. On a side note, the SNES really was made to last, probably over 30 years old, still runs all my games with no problem. Meanwhile, I can't use my PS2 or 360 anymore because the former has an overheating capacitor and the latter doesn't read discs. So take that, you fancy new games. Give me all my retro stuff. Put me on a desert island, fire up the apocalypse, and I will be good to go. Ham of Wisdom says, hitting that sweet spot for the jump on the factory level with the boots and helmet upgrade in order to reach the arm blaster upgrade was frustrating, but worth it on every run through of the game. You heard me talking about that. I see you feel the same about it. It's a tough jump over and over again. Rick Brebra says, my dad bought me this game when I had to get one of my teeth pulled as a kid. I remember sitting in my room in agony playing this absolute classic. X2 is just as good. So is Mega Man, is it like better than like painkillers? Is that what you get after some dental surgery? Like that's... I like your specific memory because I have a lot of weird specific memories like that too. I remember when I got chicken pox as a kid and I had to wear like oven mitts. And I remember my mom going and getting me a Happy Meal. It's weird the memories you have. A lot of Happy Meal memories, I think, in my head. We got Mad Buttery 007 says, I love all things Mega Man now, but Mega Man X was my first and will always be my favorite. Shout out to you, Mad Buttery. Mega Man X being your first. That's got to be rough then to go back to some of the Mega Man games after playing X first, because X seems kind of easy compared to some of those Nintendos. Cold Medicine says, I could never really get into Mega Man. I never really liked the whole choose stages in any order you want idea and would much rather have the game be linear. And that's a critique. And that's what Mega Man is. It's definitely not linear until you know the boss order. But again, if you know that, then the game's a bit easier. I feel like to know the boss order, you have to earn it, or you won't enjoy the Mega Man game that much. And if you're not into that kind of, if you don't get your dopamine fix from that kind of game and you want to do your kind of Mario playthroughs, that's fine too. As far as linear and non-linear, I go back and forth on stuff. It just depends on the game. Finally here, Same as Zero says, I only played it for the first time during the big Corona quarantine. It was such a blast. The replayability is great. I finished it a few times and enjoyed every moment. There. That's a golden comment. And as bad as COVID may have been for some people and as crappy as the went for the world, I guess, it didn't really affect me directly as far as anyone I know dying or getting sick from it. I mean, it affected us in every other way, but sometimes I miss just, we just shut the world down and just so I can go play video games again for a few weeks where people tell you don't do anything, stay inside and play video games. What a time to be alive, even though I was still working 60 hours back then. I was, well, just required essential work back then. I never got a COVID break, but everyone's happy and healthy, so I'm happy for that. Let's get out of here. We're going to give this game some of my own awards. Let's hit it. All right, let's do it. First award, it's going to be the Metal Blade Award. It's going to be the most OP weapon in the arsenal. Third place, we got Shotgun Ice, because you never forget your first love, and Shotgun Ice is usually your first weapon in any boss order. Chill Penguin usually goes down first. Plus, you can make X do some snowboarding, and it's got a pretty good color palette, so I like Shotgun Ice. Second place, Horming Torpedoes. They're going to horm their way right into some baddies. Lots of use on those vertical ladder climbing levels. Again, that's when they get you. They'll stun you right off the ladder, some bats or something. You'll fall down like 6 screens. So it's nice to have yourself some Horming Torpedoes. But the winner is going to be Chameleon Sting. The primary is okay, your first, but it's the secondary invincibility. It's the power star your way through some tough spots. It's like I'm already dash jumping across levels and over enemies and slamming into enemies. So I might as well save some health, might as well be invincible for some of it. Next award, it's going to be the It's Morphin' Time Award for the best Maverick sprite design. I'm going to stick to the Mavericks. I want to shout out Vile because I like his Star Wars Mandalorian looks. And shout out to D-Rex as the mini boss because I love big robot fights. I love tiny little Mega Man standing up against a huge hulk of a robot. So I appreciate robot fights. But we'll just talk Mavericks. So in third place, I'm going to go Chill Penguin because I haven't seen like a penguin this aggressive since those like rocket-strapped penguins in Batman Returns. Remember those guys? Just cute animals turned into killing machines. What's next? Is it going to be a killer koala?
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
Second place, Sting Chameleon. Like I love Snake Man from back in the day, and I think I'm just a sucker for killer robots with tails. But the winner, it's going to be Spark Mandrill. Thank you, 80s studio audience cheering. I don't know what a mandrill is. Maybe I don't want to know. But I do know I love a big boss sprite. And this, like I said, he's 10 foot tall. Mega Man standing next to this guy. It's your David versus Goliath, and I like it. Award number 3, Now You're Playing with Power. Super Power Award. It's going to be my favorite new addition or upgrade to the series. In third place, it's going to be the armor upgrades. Specifically just how they look, like physically seeing those upgrades on X, on your sprite, it was top notch. I always got excited finding one of those Dr. Light upgrade tunnel tube things. Just like I would get excited in Metroid when you get to like a new ball, like a new weapon, one of them alien statue things. So I like that. Second place, it's the extra boss damage. Taking the armor off of Armadillo, chopping the Flame Mammoth's trunk right off, and cutting off Launch Octopus's armed tentacle things. It's stuff you might not even see or know until you get through multiple playthroughs. So good job making us want to do playthroughs. But the winner, coming in at number 1, is the new stage effects. Beating different bosses, affecting different levels. A trend I hope continues in the X series, as I'm determined to figure out Mega Man X2. Or now, is it Mega Man 10 squared? Is it Mega Man 100? I'm bad at math. Speaking of math, let's get into ratings here. We're going to go out of 8 for 8 Mavericks. We're going to see if this game rules, if it's a rental, should it be retired, and I'm pretty sure you can't retire a robot because they'll just build another Mega Man in the year 30XX. I mean, you got 8X sequels already. You're not retiring. You're not going anywhere, Mega Man. We're going to go out of gameplay, visuals, music, sound, and awesomeness. Gameplay, 7 out of 8. You're going to lose 1 point for not having Rush in this game for me to play with. But really, it's a Mega Man game, beefed up for the SNES, and it plays tight. Added just enough new things to spicing up this Mega Man marinara. You got to let it simmer. You got to let that marinara simmer a little bit. Don't let the bottom burn. Us kids, we needed small changes. You can't go all Zelda 2 on us. It's just too much.
Well, excuse me, princess.
For the visuals, 7 out of 8. You lose 1 point for not having Rush in this game for me to look at. Tell him he's a good boy. But the game looks great. Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Castlevania, like even Adventure Island, they all got the super treatment back then. I still don't know what those construction hat guys are in the Mega Man games. They're like Jawas. What is going on under there? Are they furry? I don't know. But music and sound, 7 out of 8. Crack open those glow sticks because this soundtrack slaps. You're just going to lose 1 point for not having Rush in the game. For me to hear some robot dog barks, maybe. But I love the music. I would work out to it if I wasn't such a lazy guy. A special shout out to that Hadouken soundbite I didn't pull. You can have this one. So go earn yourself a Hadouken. Go listen to that soundbite. Finally, awesomeness, 10 out of 8. Because you confused people into thinking this was Mega Man 10, I was sad when I got this game, only because I thought I missed a bunch of Mega Man games somewhere. In reality, it was just an awesome reboot / sequel for the series, way before every movie and game was doing it like they are nowadays. So you were awesome. Right up there with Mega Man Soccer, another one of my favorite games. But you heard the math. Now, does this game rule? Let's add it up. 7.5 out of 8. Nintendo and Capcom, like, what can I say? You guys, you're like couple goals. You did it once again. You took a spin-off series, made a legacy out of it. 8 more sequels coming, while still making sequels for the original series, now that we've got 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, I believe. And I haven't even talked about Mega Man Soccer. You've got a new game coming out soon in the 20XX. I don't know when that is, but the Blue Bomber has earned a place in gamers' hearts, and maybe even a spot on that gaming Mount Rushmore. Mega Man X, you didn't have Rush in this game, but you got yourself a solid That Game Rules. So what have we learned today, children? Well, despite his name, Chill Penguin has no chill. Some robot dogs are definitely not man's best friend, and if AI doesn't slow down, we're going to have Mavericks running wild. Storm Eagle is going to run for your local city council. It's going to be madness. But until then, thanks for joining the clubhouse this week. Send your love letters or your hate mail over to thatgamerules@gmail.com, or just go leave a nice review on any of the platforms. Keep playing those old games. They may be all we have left in this digital world as we keep going. Go play Mega Man X. Keep that Buster charging the whole time. And thank you guys so much. I will see you on the next one. not done yet. You guys are going to get this whole track now.